Moving forward in my master's program and with a possible pursuit of administration, I've come to the conclusion of the three things that I want to focus: my vision towards technology, and my philosophy with commitment and collaboration. Technology, commitment, and collaboration involve having students prepared for the future, staff working together as one unit, and coming together on a variety of subjects, using resources in and outside of your school to ensure that we give our students the best chance at success. Throughout our school visits, we came across a variety of programs, a variety of methods to run the school. But the administration all pushed for consistency, something that I think is vital in a vision and a philosophy for a school to have success. During week 1, we had visited Eugene Reimer Middle School with Ian Levings. Eugene Reimer Middle School is based upon a Paralympian who had received 10 medals. During its time with Ian Levings, it received $200,000 for future programs. Demographically, it has a high Punjabi presence, secondary connection to Rick Hansen Secondary, and it did drop to 320 students. The vision at Eugene Reimer was to build the school back to full enrollment, to increase the band program, and to bring back the lost feeder schools. Eugene Reimer Middle School is a diverse learning community, empowering the whole person toward individual success, community involvement, and global citizenship. Leadership has been a strong suit for the principal, Ian Levings. He's helped build a relationship with the feeder schools, which was seeming to fall apart. He's increased enrollment to over 600 students. He's brought a full-time band program, and he started open house tours with the parents, and he's worked hard with the community to ensure they have a voice in their school. Parental environment at Eugene Reimer consists of the PAC committee, who also get involved with the cultural aspect of the school because of the high Punjabi presence. Vaisakhi and Diwali are two cultural events that take a large precedence throughout the year. The parents are quite involved. Administration is continuing to fighting off the perceptions of the school being highly Indo-Canadian demographic. They're working with the outside preschool while maintaining the best interest for the school and continuing to keep working hard to keep the programs thriving in the school. During our second week, we had a chance to visit the Choi School. South Popular has a deep alumni history which ranges back to the 1930s. It still has the original schoolhouse on the property, which is in discussion of reopening. It thrives on having traditional attire, which allows students to not have to worry about clothing options. It's a choice school, and it currently has full enrollment. South Popular has a clear vision within its tenets. It has a staff which has very little turnover, which describes its loyalty and commitment to the school. And it empowers children to become a contributing, productive citizens through a consistent, structured learning environment. The current principal, Dwayne Penner, has done a remarkable job in changing the culture and something he has personally been very proud of. He's hired a choir director to help with the music. He's brought a full-time band program. He feels discipline is not an issue, which allows him to spend a great deal of time with the staff and event planning for the school. South Pop has one of the most involved PAC committees that I've ever seen in my teaching practice. With the teams that are involved in multiple committees, with deep roots of alumni, the history is evident. They're the ones responsible for helping with the funding and allowing the school to build in areas where otherwise may not be possible.
And if you ever find yourself lost in the dark and you can't see, I'll be the light.
South Popular staff do a great job on recognizing the students both academically and athletically. They ensure the students have multiple opportunities to showcase their success, whether it be through music, arts, or through academics. Dealing with operational procedures and management issues, some of the key things that come to mind are South Pop not having any access to SG34 busing for students, meaning they're required to get there on their own. There's a very long wait list, which makes it very difficult for students to get into the school. and parking is quite an issue on campus. Our third stop was to Alexander Elementary with Principal Brittany Wallace. At Alexander Elementary, their mission is to work as a team. Directly, the school is composed of struggling families, and currently 50% make up the Indigenous students, 50 ELL, and 40 designations. A full breakfast lunch program. Staff are committed to making the students feel safe and comfortable. A positive relationship with the local police department is integral at this school. Principal Brittany Wallace is in her fourth year at Alexander. She has attested that there is not a lot of turnover since she has arrived, which she takes a lot of pride in, as well as she prides herself about her staff meetings about being about well-being. She feels the staff is the most important feature of this school. Alexander Elementary is very fortunate and thankful to have a lot of resources from outside organizations, community church groups, Strong Start, after school care, Carter Kids, Reading Buddies, and many more who make sure all the kids' needs are looked after and continue to have a strong hand in the school. At the halfway point, when I compare the first three visits, in each of the schools, I found that the principals had the best intentions and were committed to their schools. At all three, at Eugene Reimer, South Pop, and Alexander, the challenges range from socioeconomic to funding and to cultural diversity. All three schools showed that the students were interested and had a passion for wanting to be there. On February 5th, we moved to Chilliwack Secondary to get a visit outside of Abbotsford from Brian Faylauer. Chilliwack Secondary has gone through many transformations. From 1903 to 1912, it received its first building, to 1938, where a new addition was added, and all the way to 1950, where the first principal, G.W. Graham, was named of Chilliwack Senior Secondary. The school has a unique environment where there's over 1,500 students, 80 teachers, 38 EA staff, school composing grade 9 to 12, and 20% Indigenous. It offers AP classes, field hockey, hairstyling, auto mechanics, carpentry, electrical, and many more trades. Much like our other visits, Principal Brian was a great leader, as in he was very committed to his school. He'd been working for 21 years in the Chilliwack School. What I found interesting was speaking to Brian was, although the school reports a low socioeconomic background, with the amount of trades and programs it offers, it has something for every student. It is one of the reasons likely why this school is very populated and continues to be in good demand. The school features a state-of-the-art gym, welding program, a theater, pop-up stores, a workout gym, pottery classes, woodworking, to say the least of all of the programs it offers. These state-of-the-art building and programs allow students to have the most opportunity. Operational procedures and management issues. Chilliwack Secondary does have its challenges. For example, not always having enough funding to provide opportunities for staff to put on programs, a low SES background, which makes it difficult for some students to be a part of the school. The PAC attendance is not as high as it could be, and student referral, however, is not a major issue. Our next stop was crossing over to the United States to see Westview Elementary School with Tamara Skeen.
There's been a real increased interest in dual language programming because people see the benefits of bilingualism for both students who come to school speaking only English, as well as students who speak a home language and are learning English. So there's cognitive flexibility, first language knowledge and skills, actually enhance second language learning. Students who are bilingual are more competitive in the marketplace and just generally more able to communicate on a global level.
Historically, Westview Elementary was a school with deep alumni history, primarily a Spanish-English immersion school. 10 years ago, it was the lowest 5% in the state and was in fear of being shut down. 70% of the students are in poverty. It's the longest dual language school in the state. Principal Tamara Skeen once was a teacher at Westview and now in administration. She has a tough interview process for incoming teachers because she does not want a lot of turnover. It's a very challenging role dealing with poverty, not a lot of movement within the district either. It's hard to make tough decisions, but she enjoys the task. The Bobcats have a lot of features, from a breakfast and lunch meal program to the high school teaming up with the elementary to prepare care packages on Fridays, a deep alumni history where parents welcome staff into their homes to build a cultural connection, and staff wearing their college outfits to help share their alumni roots. Operational procedures and management issues. Teachers are not necessarily fluent in Spanish at Westview. It requires a lot of collaboration. The first 3 years, teachers are on non-renewal contracts, and there's no cap on IEPs. Any funding must go through a voting process. The school is not fit for every teacher. Our next visit was to Abbotsford Middle School, which was in the central part of Abbotsford and run by Jamie Beck. Abbey Middle has a strong history as it opened in 2007. It is considered a looping school, has an IB stream, strong link to its secondary senior school, and the enrollment currently is over full with 70 of its students at a different middle school. For me, one thing that stuck out about Abbey Middle was its historical ties to Abbey Senior, not only with sports, the new building, the coaching, the staffs, the various pictures, and the artwork. It is the only middle school I've seen that is fairly resembling its high school. Jamie Beck has demonstrated leadership by spending the last 21 years working in the same family of schools. He once was a teacher, now an administrator. He talks about a tough interview process for incoming teachers, a very challenging role dealing with the IB program, and even though he enjoys being liked by staff, respect is number one. Abbey Middle is a BYOD school where students can bring their own device but are not obligated. The highest amount of suspensions are Indigenous students. Sanctuary Room was created based on 6 or 7 students that did not want to attend school. They have an IB coordinator, and the philosophy is put people in places where the skills showcase. Our final visit this semester was to James Hill Elementary. Both the school and neighborhood were designed in the 90s. The original owners have grown up their kids but have maintained their homes, which makes it difficult for new families to buy in. The school has about 30 Indigenous students, making about 10% of the population. And same with the IEPs in the school, they have a strong start and a preschool.
Snow is back with an unforeseen vengeance. Side streets unsafe and unsightly. Snow is falling both daily and nightly. Will it ever?
After listening to Kendra speak, it was interesting to note that she never wanted to go into admin and almost left teaching after 18 years. She was only a vice principal for 2 years before making the move to principal. She found it tough to balance home life but found support, and she finds it lonely at times but still enjoys the job. James Hill has a small but strong pack to make up their parental involvement. The school is only 60% full and could definitely use more enrollment. The principal seems to be very firm but fair with her staff and her standards of work. The challenge of only having one admin makes it difficult to get things done.